What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome to my brand new Let's Play in Pikmin 2. So, Pikmin 1 was my very first Let's Play on the channel, and I've been wanting to do a Let's Play in Pikmin 2 for a while at this point. And it's no secret that I love the Pikmin series, so I think instead of just talking about it on this title screen, that we just go ahead and jump right in. There are several different modes to this, but unfortunately, I'm only going to be able to show the story mode, mostly because I don't have a second person to do the two-player battle, and the challenge mode is basically the exact same thing, except you're doing it's cooperative instead of a battle against one another. So I won't be able to show challenge mode really either. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the game. And we're just going to go ahead and start a new save file. Hakatate Freight is a long-haul deep space shipping company. One day, its only employee of any merit, Captain Olimar, crashed on an uncharted planet while on an interstellar vacation. There, he was aided by indigenous creatures, which he called Pikmin. In the end, Captain Olimar escaped. But in Olimar's absence, his employer, Hakatate Freight, ran into financial difficulties. Olimar! I'm so glad you're safe. Yes, very glad, but sadly, I have an announcement that is not very good. Our company is going under. Yes, we're finished. On his first mission, Louis here met a ravenous space bunny, and his entire load of golden pick brand carrots was eaten. I took out an enormous loan to repay the debt from his loss. I decided to sell off company assets to repay the loan. But the only assets we had to sell was your ship, the SS Dolphin. As for the rest of our loan, we have no means of repaying it. Olimar, what is that? You brought that back as a souvenir for your kid. Treasure, 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 money, 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 money. Initiating validation of recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 100 Pokos. That thing's worth 100 Pokos? That's more than a year's worth. What? There are more on that planet. They can repay our debt. Louis, you're dolt. Look alive. You must depart immediately with Captain Olimar. Kind of fucked up for us to get back to the planet, immediately have our ship taken, and then him to be like, all right, we're sending you back to space. Forget seeing your family that you thought you'd never see again. It's actually worse now that I think about it, because he's sending us back to the planet that we thought we were going to die on in the first game. That was close. I have averted a crash landing, running diagnostics. Alert! Danger! Louis is missing. He must have somehow fallen out of his cockpit. He is now responding via his communicator. He is either flouting protocol or in danger. Olimar, you must find Louis before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Wait for a moment, look. Could these be the Pikmin? They look like they are about to be devoured as we speak. Help them. Use L and put the cursor near Pikmin and press B to call them with your whistle. You can also hold B to make the sound of your whistle carry farther, remember. Alright, so these Pikmin, and I guess this Dwarf Bulborb, are actually special because we could stand here for literal hours and they will not kill each other. The Dwarf Bulborb usually can eat one Pikmin at a time, but for some reason in this, well, not for some reason, it's so you can't fail this, but they just don't allow this Dwarf Bulborb to actually eat any of the Pikmin. But in turn, the Pikmin also can't do any damage to the Dwarf Bulborb. So you could, like I said, quite literally just sit here for hours and just watch them. And they won't, like, target you or anything. They'll just sit there and attack and go over and over and over again. But let's go ahead and whistle them. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to have remembered you, Captain Olimar. How fascinating. Give them instructions and do not delay. Hold A to grab a Pikmin, then release to throw it. Alright, getting into our first enemy. This is a Dwarf Bulborb. They are also one of the easier enemies in the game, because if you line up a shot, they die immediately. If you can land a Pikmin directly on top of them, they will immediately be defeated. And now, I believe if we just run this way... Attention, Captain Olimar. I have just re-established my communication link with Louis. It is fortunate. We have managed to confirm his safety. Press Y to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. And by pressing Y, we switch which captain we are using. So unlike the first game, we actually have two separate entities that we are able to use and switch between using the Y button. Louis, allow me to assess your condition as per our safety protocol. Are you at all injured? Is that so? Then my concerns are eased. Our communication link shows you are nearby. Can you make your way to our location and rejoin us? I will navigate for you. Press plus to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. And it's very funny. He just has there's just a Louis-sized dent in the ground right here. But what we need to do is we just need to head up here and see a familiar-looking object. Louis, the odd object before you appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. And a single seed flies from the onion. The seed the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with A. I just love the expression specifically from Louis in this game, because Olimar doesn't have very many expressions, but Louis in this game is very emotive and very funny to watch. But what we need to do now is just pluck this Pikmin. Louie, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at you. Press A to throw a Pikmin where you want it to take action. A squad of them can do a lot. You can disband a squad of Pikmin that's following you by pressing X. Interesting. Olimar's description of the creatures resembling Pick carrots was strikingly accurate. Louie, my sensors have detected drool on the corners of your mouth. Are you alright? You can very clearly see what I was talking about with the expressions from Louie, especially in this first day. And speaking of this first day, you have no time limit, unlike, or kind of like the first game where the first day had no time limit. But every day after this, there are time limits, so take advantage of this first day and get as many Pikmin as you can. And in that mission, I guess we could call it, we have these new plants. These are called pellet posies, and they have two main defining features. The first is the number that is listed on them. That tells you how many Pikmin you need to be able to carry each of the pellets. And then the color of the pellet is also important, because if you put a pellet of the same color as the onion, or if you carry a pellet to an onion of the same color, you get bonus Pikmin from that pellet. The onion ejected more seeds. The pellet from that flower must hold nutrients that breed Pikmin. Yes, the Pikmin gather nutrients, haul them to the onion, and farther propagate the species. The onion is a Pikmin mothership. Reviewing Olimar's report, it seems holding A lets one rapidly pluck Pikmin sprouts. And I guess it's a good time to mention that I am playing the Switch version of this game. So my controls might be slightly different if you're playing, say, the Wii version of this game. But mostly it is very similar. And I'll be pointing out the differences between the two versions, or the different versions, when we get to them. But now is as good a time as any to actually talk about the red Pikmin, because those are the only Pikmin we have access to right now. So they are unique, but not in the same way that they were in the first game. Similarly to the first game, they are immune to fire and fire-based attacks, which makes them very helpful in certain places where you have to deal with a lot of fire. And they also deal 1.5 times the damage of other Pikmin types. So they are okay in a battle, but they are outclassed, let's say, in this game with another type of Pikmin we'll go over later. And as you can see, they lag behind as leaves, and red Pikmin have average moving speed. And if we run over here, I'll be honest, I was going to make a joke here, being like, and our new enemy, paid product placement. But because I'm playing the Switch version of this game, I can't do it. So in the Switch version, this is as you can see, an super battery, electric power, which is nothing. It's a made-up brand. But in the US version of this game, they are Duracell battery. It is a Duracell battery. And in the Japanese version of this game, it is actually a National High-Top brand battery. But in the Switch version, for every region, I believe every region, they turned it into this generic battery because I guess Duracell and High Top no longer had the paid placement to have their batteries here. But perhaps this object is one of the treasures that we are searching for. The only reason we found it here is because this is where you crash landed. How fortunate. I would like to reprise it, or appraise it, but you must first regroup with Olimar. Can you see him? Press ZL to move the camera behind you. Also, press ZR to move in and out and up and down with R to change angles. Oh, and press left or right on the R joystick to rotate the camera. And if we actually try to dig this up, we can. But you will see that we are short on Pikmin. Specifically, I believe we need 20 Pikmin to carry this, and we only have... It's either 20 or 15, so let's see. I believe I only have 11 Pikmin on me right now, though. Come on, guys, pick it up. It is 20, okay. So we're just gonna take these Pikmin and head over here. And what we need to do now is just throw the Pikmin on top of this paper bag, which is, I guess, a new type of obstacle in this game. But as soon as we get the correct number of Pikmin on top of here, we get to reunite. Captain Olimar, Louis, you are reunited at last. This has been a troublesome start to our trip. But now you must feel assured that your combined wits can get you through anything, correct? From now on, use B to form a single group, X to take solo actions, and Y to change leaders. So, we have 16 Pikmin, and we need 20 to get that battery over here, which is what signifies the end of this day, by the way. So, what we need to do is we need to just... I'm going to put 6 on it. We're going to take this bulb orb, and that will create more Pikmin. Also, there's this other bag over here, but if we throw a Pikmin on it, you will see that we need 35 Pikmin to make that go down, so we can't do that today. And while they're carrying this back, I actually have one extra topic I want to talk about. And that's the ship. And I'll be honest, it's probably my least favorite character in this game. They use the ship as a tutorial in this game, which would be fine if it said things one time and let you just figure it out from there. But it repeats itself so often that it gets pretty annoying when you get later into the game. And, in fact, I believe every time the first time you start with a new captain, or with a new, I guess we'll call them captains, the ship will give a tutorial again. So, it just over-explains when it really doesn't need to, and I just find it annoying because of that. But, with these 4 Pikmin, we can also see something new. If you have both captains with you, you can pick Pikmin twice as fast, which is one of the only upsides to keeping both captains together. And we are just going to now throw. You can even see that if you have both captains, they won't both throw, which is weird for some reason. I think they should have made it so both captains throw, because it would have given you another reason to keep them together. But having them apart is actually much better, because you can have 2 different groups of Pikmin with the different captains and accomplish more, especially when you're automating tasks. With one captain, you can use the other captain to do more specific things where you have to actually keep an eye on them. And it makes things go a lot faster in this game, where you're not having to divide your time between different objectives with one captain. You can divide them with 2 captains and get them done twice as fast. But at this point, the only thing we're waiting for is for the Pikmin to carry this to the ship. So I think we are just going to cut here and come back once the Pikmin are all the way over there. So we'll be right back. And now time for my favorite part of this game. The ship names. every single treasure in this game, and some of them are very funny. This is a courage reactor, because, you know, we're playing a video game, and video games mostly run on batteries and electricity. But we get value of 280 for this, which is actually a very good starting point since we need to get 10,000 Pokos. Our first day of exploration has yielded our first treasure. We will be done in record time. I took the liberty of naming it when I appraised it, the name reflecting my current thinking. Leave it to me to think up catchy names for hit products. It is but one of my many talents. We shall end our first day here and report back to our president. His face will surely be joyous. However, to communicate with Hecate, we must fly into low orbit above the planet. We will not return to the surface until morning so as to avoid the indigenous nocturnal creatures. And like I said, as soon as you get that battery back, you are forced into the end of day, and the end of day always ends with this like end of day cutscene, which shows you all of your Pikmin going back to their onions, all of Captain Olimar and Louie going back to the ship, and it's just nice to see everything. It also shows you if you left any Pikmin behind, because they get eaten by the monsters or by the creatures of the planet. But also, at the end of the day, there is a day's report, which just shows you what you collected, specifically in that day. Depending on what you've collected, it'll show you, tell you the name and the amount, and it'll also show you how much you got during that day specifically, and the total amount you've gotten over your entire playthrough. So far, we only have one treasure, so we only have 280. And it also shows you a report of how many Pikmin you either lost. If we hit ZL, it'll tell us the breakdown of how many you lost and where you lost them. And it shows you how many you gained as well through this. And the arrow in the middle will tell you if you went up in Pikmin or down in Pikmin. And the bottom row, even though it looks like it's just talking about red Pikmin again, is your total number of Pikmin. So it's a very good number to keep in mind, and you can only get 20 in this first day. And the last thing is we got mail. You found your first bit of treasure. Fine work. Our future depends on your effort. So check your treasure hoard regularly. I'll check in often. Keep up the pace. And there's actually something else. If you wait on this screen, I believe for 2.5 minutes, there is a secret. So I will be back when the secret appears. All right, and I think we're gonna end this first episode here. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we head back to the Valley of Repose to see if we can find more treasure. But until then, happy adventuring.